Lights, camera, action, I'm splashing.
You're talking to the Rolex wearer, diamond ring wearer, kiss them, wheel and dip, limousine ride, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these Detroit Lions down. Pussy.
What up, though, everybody? It's Mr. Lights, Camera, Action. I'm splashing, bringing you another episode of Up in Smoke. I am your host. And on this podcast, we're self-driven like Waymo. And we're still making plays like J-Mo. Speaking of J-Mo, how you like these threads? That's it. You know, forecasts call for major spillage on aisle 12. And just when you thought I ain't did it, just know I had to do it. Because I'm the one that they get the influence. As I got my Travis Hunter Teal, as he made plays against the Kansas City Chiefs last week. They got the win, Jacksonville Jesus. You know, I said I was high on him this year for all the right reasons. You know, he's one of the most highest paid quarterbacks in the league, and he's got shit show to show for it. Well, that's all going to turn around this year because the Jags are sitting number one in that division. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am your host, Mr. Lights, Camera, Action, and you know I'm splashing. Appreciate everybody tuning in with me as you do every week, and I appreciate your ear. Much respect. You know, on this episode today, we're simply going to give you a recap of what happened in Week 5. We're going to talk about my Up in Smoke players of the week, talk about who's in the hot box going into Week 6 for good and bad reason, followed by give you a breakdown of the Week 6 schedule. Now, my only question to you, you think you can handle all this smoke? Well, I'll see you in the clouds, pussy. Get into this Week 5 recap. We had the 49ers against the Rams, NFC West divisional matchup. Niners, you're all beat up. Well, maybe you get a taste of what it felt like to be Detroit last year as we were playing on a crutch all year. But we did it for Hutch. Well, now you're going to have to do it for Bosa as he's going to be out all year. You guys got a bunch of injured 49ers there on stretchers. What are you going to do? Mac Jones, you're back under center there for Frisco. And you step in for Brock Purdy yet again. And you explode yet again. 340 yards and 2 touchdowns in this one. Christian McCaffrey, over 139 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown. Kendrick, born to be wild. That's my nickname for you, as it appears you were running wild there all night for Frisco. You had over 10 catches for over 140 yards. Ricky Pearsall, you didn't play. Jawan Jennings, you were absent in this game as well. Fantasy owners, better keep your eyes on Kendrick Bourne. He was with the team once before. He's back yet again. All right, and he's going to get targeted a lot there in that offense. Matt Stafford, you absolutely explode week after week, and you did it again this week. Almost 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Puka Nacua, 10 catches, 85 yards and a touchdown. You're the first player in NFL history with his team's 5 games to have over 50 catches. Have a season for you too. I need you to stay healthy there. You're a big piece of the Rams offense. San Francisco, you guys stopped the Rams there on a turnover on downs in overtime, securing your victory as you win over the Rams 26-23. Vikings at Browns, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, London, England. Dylan Gabriel, you get your first career start there for Cleveland, and you did pretty good in this one, if I do say so myself. You had 2 touchdowns off 190 yards passing. I know I rag on you, but that's only because I want to see the other quarterback under center out there. Call me a hater, I don't give a shit. All right. Carson Wentz, 236 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Addison, you're back there with Minnesota off your suspension, and you find the end zone in this one. Justin Jefferson, you had 7 catches, $123. This is back-to-back 100-yard games for you, Jefferson. Vikings, you spoiled Dylan Gabriel's first career start in England, 21-17 victory. You know what? At what point are we going to see Shadur out there? Joe Flacco, it appears that you're traded. You take your car across town now with Cincinnati. What are we going to do here? You're going to keep fucking playing with Shadur Sanders with this self-sabotage shit. Giants at Saints. Giants, you shot yourself in the foot in this game. You fuckers had 5 turnovers. How you expect to win doing shit like that? Cam, can I get some gloves, Scatterbo? You put that pigskin on the turf there, you and your fellow rookie buddy Jackson Dart. Now, Dart, you already said you got to clean that shit up. And I agree. Now, Spencer Rattler. I don't mean to rattle you this time, homie, but how could I? I know the Saints haven't been winning, but week after week, somehow you keep your composure. And in this one, it all paid off. The Saints took down the Giants, 26-14 victory. Spencer Rattler, you get your first career win there as a quarterback. Kellen Moore, you get your first career win as a head coach. Broncos at Eagles. Philly, with you guys being at home in this one, I didn't think it would turn out the way it did. Bo Nix, you had over 240 yards and a touchdown as you lead Denver on a rally, being down from a 14-point deficit as you hand Philly their first loss of the season, 21-17. There's a lot of drama there brewing in that Philly locker room, and I'm curious to see how this soap opera pans out. Saquon Barkley, you touched the ball 6 times in this game, only having 30 yards rushing. And I'm starting to see some bull jive going on. What is this? You can't find a fucking balance there in that offense? Nick Sirianni, you got 2 of the best receivers there. You got one of the best running backs. Now you can't find a way to make shit work. I find that funny. Dallas at the Jets. I told you motherfuckers, if there was one thing we're going to have to accept early so far in this season, it's that Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP level. All right, it's really elite-like what he's doing there for Dallas. You have another strong outing, Dakota Prescott, 4 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, you had over 100 yards there and 2 touchdowns. George Pickens, the menace. You had a touchdown in this game, even if you were draped in sauce. Jake Ferguson, you had 2 touchdowns there as you prove week in and week out that you're Dak Prescott's security blanket. Justin Fields, you're starting to see the field there a little bit better. I give you that. 283 yards and 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall, you had over 100 yards on the ground, but it was not enough. As Jets, you fall short of your landing strip to Dallas as that plane comes to a crash, 37-22. Raiders at the Colts. Jonathan Taylor, you absolutely explode in this one for 3 touchdowns. That's your second time this year doing that shit for the Colts. Indiana Jones, you round him up for 2 touchdowns, Daniel. Michael Pittman and Tyler Warren on the receiving end of them touchdowns. Hey, real quick. Knock, knock. Well, who's there? Warren. Warren who? Didn't Tyler warn you he was going to go off this year for the Colts? If a certain somebody by the name of Emeka Egbuka didn't exist there for Tampa Bay, well, we'd be penciling this guy in for early Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate. Now, Egbuka, you stay healthy there for Tampa. Tyler Warren, you do the same. As the season unfolds, I'm curious to see how this Offensive Rookie of the Year race pans out. As for the Raiders, I'm tired of the same old rigmarole every week from you motherfuckers. Fucking Geno. You know, it's no secret. I didn't know you like dessert that much because you lead the league in turnovers, you motherfucker. And Pete Carroll, no. I don't want Russell Wilson as my quarterback for the Raiders either. You know what, Oakland? Yeah, I still say Oakland because I can do that. That's my team. Raiders, with this fucking Geno, you lead the league in interceptions. Why don't you make a call over to Cleveland and let's post Shadur Sanders to Vegas? All right, let's start off fresh. And while I'm at it, you know what, Raiders? Why don't you go after A.J. Brown? Because it appears he's milk cart missing there in Philly. Colts round up the Raiders at home, 40-6. Dolphins at Panthers, Tua Fish, Bryce Young, both Bama quarterbacks. Tango Valoa, you passed for 3 touchdowns off 256 yards, no picks. Jalen, you waddled like a penguin there, had over 100 yards and a touchdown. Darren Waller, it's good to see you back in the league after you retired, then you come back there. 3 touchdowns in 2 games. But the talk of the town in this one, Rico Dowdle, Carolina's running back, as he absolutely explodes for his career day, over 234 yards from scrimmage. Dowdle and Bryce Young, you know, they were the workhorse for Carolina as they come back from a 17-point deficit to put the Dolphins in a can, 27-24 victory. Bucs at Seahawks. You know, I love how the football guys put this one together here for us, as we had 2 of the flyest throwback uniforms to this day in the NFL. Seattle, they wore their Steve Largent blues with that silver Seahawk helmet. In Tampa Bay, you wore your creamsicle joints. Well, and it's the Bake Show. Baker Mayfield. You know, you take down Seattle in that 12th man for your 4th comeback victory this year. Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold both combined for over 889 yards total offense. Ohio State boys Jackson Smith and Jigba and Emeka Ibuka combined for over 15 catches, 295 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I got a question. Is Ohio State the real wide receiver you? Tampa Bay, you handle business there on the road as you take down Seattle in that 12th man for a 38-35 victory. Well, and it's the 4th comeback victory this year for Baker Mayfield. Titans at Cardinals. This is a battle between 2 number 1 picks at quarterback. We have Cam Ward and Kyler Murray. Cam Ward, you had over 265 yards in this one in an interception. You know, Calvin Ridley. It's a pleasant surprise to see you show up, 131 yards receiving. Taylor Demerson, you intercept Cam Ward, then you fumble the interception as it's a fumble recovered touchdown by Tyler Lockett. That play, and Amari DiMercado's 71-yard scamper that should have been a touchdown, but he didn't cross the goal line as he fumbled, is what lost Cardinals the game as Tennessee comes back to win this one 22-21. Cam Ward, you get your first win there as a rookie. Tennessee, you snap a 10-game losing streak. Commanders at Chargers. Every dog has his day, in the words of Tony Montana. In L.A., it wasn't your best day in this one, as you managed to only score 10 points in this one. But Keenan Allen, you managed to rewrite the history books as you're the fastest receiver to catch 1,000 passes in the fewest games, 159. What a career that is, as you're going to don a gold jacket soon there in Canton. Ladd McConkey, you had the only touchdown in this one. Chargers rookie Amarion Hampton, going to be out 4 games due to an ankle injury. Washington, 231 yards passing out of Jaden Daniels. First game back for you, Daniels, under center there. Bill Krosky-Merritt, you had 2 touchdowns over 100 yards. Dun, 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 dun. Debo said what you got on is 40, homie. Well, he had 8 catches over 96 yards and a touchdown as the Commanders shocked the Bolts at their house, 27-10. Lions at Bengals. Demo, you had yourself quite a homecoming in this one as you throw for a touchdown and rush for one. The gift that keeps on giving. You know, Jameer, you had 87 yards total from scrimmage and a touchdown. Sam La Puerta. You know, Puerta means goal in Spanish. As you cross the goal line in this one. You know, St. Beasy, make it look easy. You had a light 100 yards in this one. Oh, and Isaac Tesla, you caught a touchdown with 2 hands. Both Bengal receivers had touchdowns. You seen that one, Jamar Chase was absolutely wide open. Jake Browning, 250 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Cincy. Well, you know what? At least you made that trade for Joe Cool Flacco, as he's going to take his car across town there via trade now for Cincy. But it doesn't matter because you know what? The Lions clawed the Bengals to death, 37-24. Pats at Bills. This is your AFC East divisional matchup, and this was a little coming out party for Stefan as he made his way back to Buffalo, once a Bill, now a Patriot, and he did a little bit of digging in this game, and for once it's not in somebody else's old lady, but on a defense, as he had 10 catches in this one for $146. Ramondre Stevenson, you had 2 touchdowns rushing there for the Pats. Drake May, you had 273 yards there through the air as you and the Patriots lead a comeback on Buffalo in their house, 23-20 victory. Josh Allen, you accumulate over 300 yards in this one, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Let's get into this week 6 slate of things. We're going to take you to 8:15 Thursday, where you got the Eagles at the Giants. Eagles are sitting at -5.5 here on the point spread in this NFC East divisional matchup. I'm looking for Saquon Barkley to get a little revenge. If you smell what I'm cooking. I got the Eagles getting a win here in this game, and it ain't going to be easy. The Giants' front seven's going to get after the Eagles and Jalen Hurts and Saquon. Like I said, I'm looking for Saquon to get in the end zone. A.J. Brown, you're going to have a big game as well. Sunday, 9:30, you better make your parlays bright and early because we got NFL overseas. We're in London yet again. We got the Broncos at the Jets. Denver, you're -7.5 there on the point spread in this one. And I'm just going to tell you this. Bo Nix. Need I say more? Cortland Sutton, I like you to get busy. Jets, you ain't got enough fuel in the tank, man. I'm just going to tell you that. Sauce Gardner, you're looking to have a down year so far. I know it's early in the season, and I know you'll bounce back. Still, I think the Jets, they'll take the loss there at home. 1 o'clock Sunday, we got the Browns at the Steelers. Steelers are -5.5 here on the point spread in this AFC North divisional matchup. Cleveland, you're a shit show. And I said it from the get-go. That Dylan Gabriel project you got going on, I'm thinking that's going to last all of 2 more games. We'll see number 12 out there. But in this one, I got Pittsburgh Steelers at home. A-Rod to hit you with a discount double check. And you know what comes next. Terrible towels. A lot of yellow in that crowd. You know what? I just don't see Cleveland getting the win. Chargers at the Dolphins. Chargers, you're sitting at -4.5 there on the point spread in this one. And I'm just going to say this. Dolphins, even with you being at home, I like the Chargers on the road to get the win. That defense, they're going to bounce back after only scoring 10 points from their offense. Good luck to them. Pats at the Saints. Pats are sitting at -3.5 here on the point spread in this one. Saints, you know what? Kudos to you for getting that win last week against the Giants. This week, I think it's going to be a little bit harder. That defense is a little bit more disciplined. And Mike Vrabel just knows how to get after it. Stephon Diggs, you had a good game last week. I'd like you to have another one this week. I'm taking the Patriots on the road. Rams at the Ravens. Rams, you're sitting at -7.5 here on the point spread in this one. Ravens, no Lamar Jackson. You're still going to be out for about 3 games. Rams, the way you're rocking and rolling. Stafford's dropping bombs like that bitch exploded because he's got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Tutu Atwell. He's got a lot of weapons, and he knows how to use them. That's why I'm taking the Rams and Stafford to get the win on the road. Oh, and Kelly Stafford says she's going to put a halt on her podcast. Good, because I'm tired of hearing her bull jive too. Seahawks at Jags. Jacksonville, you're sitting at -1.5 there on the point spread in this one. And how do I look in these threads, by the way, ladies? Huh? Look at it. I got the 12 on my chest. I got the Jaguar on my sleeve. Okay, and I'm just going to tell you this. There's going to be a lot of points scored in this one, best believe. All right, but this is going to be the one that I'm going to take Jacksonville at home. Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jesus. You got a lot to prove. All right, and I'm just going to say this one thing. I got Travis Hunter getting his first touchdown at home in this one. Cowboys at the Panthers. Cowboys are sitting at -2.5 there on the point spread in this one. And let me just tell you this. You're either going to take Bryce Young or you're going to take Dak Prescott, who's playing at an elite level. Yeah, I'm going to take Dakota Prescott in this one too. Take Dallas and turn the television off. 4:05, we got Titans at the Raiders. Raiders are sitting at -4.5 there on a point spread in this one. And I'm just going to say this. Cam Ward, going to be a lot of pressure there from Mad Max Crosby. I hope you're ready. But this is one, and I think both of the rookies for their respective teams, Cam Ward and Ashton Jenney, are going to show out in this one. I got the Raiders there getting a win at home. Mad Max, can we do it, please? All right. Geno Smith, can you not turn the fucking ball over like you always do? Getting Geno. 4:25. We got the 49ers against the Bucs. Tampa Bay, you're sitting at -2.5 there on the point spread in this one. And if you thought that I wasn't going to take Baker Mayfield in this one, well, you got something wrong there with your fucking skull. Because I'm taking my guy to get the win there at home. He's got 4 fourth-quarter comebacks this year. Mac Jones, Brock Purdy, it don't even matter. Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay, they're standing sturdy. 4:25, we got the Bengals at the Packers. Packers, you're sitting at -14.5 there on the point spread in this one. Let me just tell you this, 14.5, that's a large number there. Okay, I know Jake Browning, you're probably going to start. Since you just got Joe Flacco there via trade last couple days, so he'll probably get thrown into the fire there sometime. I'm taking Green Bay, obviously, to get the win in this one. I just feel like Cincinnati, you just don't have enough. Sunday night, you better get your popcorn ready and put a little butter on that shit too while you're at it. Because it's prime time, 8:20. My hometown Lions against the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs, you're sitting at -2.5 there on the point spread in this one. And I'm going to just tell you this. We beat you motherfuckers before, and we can do it again. Last time we played you guys was all the way back in 23. Your house, to be exact. We won by a point. Had you motherfuckers crying and pouting. That's in the past, though. We're already coming to this game already beat up. You know, Terrion Arnold, he's going to be out. He was our sticky corner. We got others that are going to step up. Just the way the game's set up, it's going to be hard for us. I'm going to tell you that, especially in their house. And I'm going to just say something else. There's a lot of top-end speed waiting to hit the track in this one. There's the Lions, Jamison Williams. Anytime he touches the pigskin, he can stretch it for 6. And the Chiefs, well, they got their own speed demon, Xavier Worthy. Anytime he touches the ball, he can stretch it. You see what he did in the Super Bowl. Still a historic performance for a young guy like that. And they got Travis Kelce over there still. He's still proven to be Pat Mahomes' security blanket year after year. You know, the way the NFL's set up, it's going to be hard for the Lions to get the dub in this one in the Chiefs' house. You know, the way that the Chiefs lost last week to Jacksonville, I know they're pissed. They're going to get some revenge. You know what? I smell bull jive brewing. Lions, all I'm saying, you're going to be in it all the way until the end. But when it comes to the end, well, I think the Chiefs are going to come out on top in this one. And no, I don't want to see that fucking Whitehead in that skybox after every fucking play either. Well, as I put the blunt out, I think that's enough smoke for today. I appreciate everybody tuning in with me as you do every week, and I appreciate your ear. Much respect. Lions, we're on a mission, and we're going fishing the Red Sea. Hopefully we can come out of there with a win. You know what that is? You know what this is. Up in smoke. Pussy.